you actually really need to pay attention to the songs that you're writing and not just having cool parts, because cool parts are only really cool to you if you're playing them. Other people have a limited scope in terms of how in-depth, you know, a lot of musicality can be. So having really a drummer that goes like for a whole song isn't necessarily going to work and make it a good song. You know, everything is just the total of the sum of its parts, and we really kind of challenged us to write songs that were a little more memorable than on our first record. At least that's what we were kind of going for. And, you know, we wanted to try new things. So on this record, we wrote the song Pray for Darkness, which is the fastest song we've ever written.
Dope.
And it's like, you know, just really intense. It kind of has this like D-beat, crust punk kind of feel, and with really metal like guitar solos in it, which is cool. And I mean, that's exciting for me. And it's like, we'll try and write a song that's out of the box. Or, you know, a lot of people have, you know, heard this record and they kind of comment on Liam's vocal style being a little bit different, but, you know, a lot of that's...
Screaming a little bit more?
Yeah, exactly. But I think a lot of it is just him having a stronger voice after playing like 500 shows, you know?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like, you take that amount of time, your voice is going to get stronger, and it's like, okay, now he can actually sing really heavy. Why not try it, you know?
For sure.
And it worked better for a song like Hail Destroyer, for instance. And it fit, and that's why, you know, it's like we tried a bunch of different things. It's like, okay, you know, you can sing like old Liam, or this actually sounds a lot better.
For sure.
And it still sounds like him, and at least in my opinion. I just think he just has a stronger voice. Like, I listen to our early stuff, and I can hear the difference. It's like startling, but you know what I mean? That's just progression, and then trying new things. And I think we really wanted to focus on not making this an easy record for us, you know, having... you know, just how do I describe it? It's just like trying to come up with parts that were challenging to play to actually force us to become better musicians, and practicing more and more, you know. And like Mike, for instance, drummer, you know, learning to play to a metronome more, like it. How do I describe it? Like when we were in the studio, you know, he'd be sitting down with this little drum clock and trying to practice really hard to make sure that, you know, when we go in the studio and we are recording to a metronome when it counts, you know, he's used to that all the time, and it works out, and it sounds better as a result, and you become a better musician because then you can keep better time all the time. Things like that, you know, and it's just, I don't think it's really ever easy to just kind of do. Maybe some people can bang out like records full of, you know, 30 shitty songs, but like we really wanted to, you know, take the time and
make a cohesive unit of songs.
Yeah, and I think the idea is that, you know, especially on this record, we were always like looking to have each song have its own slightly different voice. And I think we did okay with that. Really, at least in my opinion. I like listening to each song on its own, but I think they all work together to form the record Hail Destroyer at the end of the day.
Because I remember listening to Lucifer's
Rocking Chair. Rocking Chair.
Rocking Chair, okay. Because I only got to see it on MySpace, and it said Lucifer's Rocking and then C. So I was like, I thought it might be Cradle.
Chair.
Cool.
Yeah.
But when I listened to Lucifer's Rocking Chair, I was really surprised. I was like, this is a song I would have never expected from the Cancer Bats.
Oh, really?
Like
cool.
a slow kind of stoner jam sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, that's the kind of music I love listening to, you know, and growing up and listening all that great stuff that came out like in the, you know, late 80s, early 90s, you know, that song's like really influenced by like Corrosion of Conformity and like you know, even Black Sabbath to an extent, you know what I mean, which is kind of where all the roots of that stuff comes from, and like, you know, all this, you know, those sort of southern metal bands, you know, Crowbar, Down, I Hate God, like all that kind of stuff is kind of just put in there. That song, you know, what I like about it, how it's really like, it's really heavy, it's definitely like a headbanger, but it's melodic too, you know. I'm doing these unison bends that are, you know, kind of twangy, almost country-ish in a way, but putting it in like a metal or hardcore context, you know, with the rest of our band and how we're going to interpret it. It's, you know, people are going to see that and, you know, just have it, hopefully be like, hey, you know, that's Cancer Bats at the end of the day. So hopefully, you know, we're just ripping off old guys. Pretty much. I don't know. It's something I'm really proud of. I mean, I like that song a lot, and I think it came out really well. And there was times when I wasn't sure how it was going to go, because that was actually a song where the main riff, we'd kind of come up with it and
Change it, or-
well, it was sort of the first riff that I wrote, like way back. It was a riff that I'd kind of had, and then we're like, this isn't working. This kind of sounds too much like something else, and we're like, yeah. And then I reworked it a little bit and was like, okay, this has like, you know, a really cool vibe now, and we kind of just really had to focus on the structure of that song because in its original form was like probably 8 minutes long, and we're like, okay, well that's just gonna bore the shit out of people. Nobody wants to hear that from a band like us, you know. That's going too far out of the box. So it's like, let's focus on having a really well arranged stoner rock song that's, you know, kind of has some cool rock elements to it, you know, and let's make it a rock song. And yeah, I love it. We play it every night, and it's fucking probably one of my
Doesn't get
favorites.
old?
No, it's one of my favorite songs to play. Like, it's just, it's cool because it's that different pace, you know. It's a lot of the other songs are just, you know, you're like, this one's like,
Nice.
you know, just that groove, like, without being really animated and stupid about it. It's just that's the kind of feeling, and I mean that's the kind of stuff that keeps me interested in playing live, is having that dynamic. And that's what I like about the set that we're doing in this new record, because we have the old songs, which have their own feel, and then the new ones, which is a totally different vibe, and then you mix that up, and it's still something really cool. Yeah.
Okay, I just
Your
thought of a
arm is
very
dying.
simple. Yeah, I just thought of a very simple, good idea. I do this, and you can hold the mic.
Yeah, we could do this. Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. Well, okay, so I was watching the video for Hail Destroyer.
Yes.
And something I was wondering was the wolves.
Yeah.
Were they green screened in? Because
No.
they look rad, but that's kind of dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah. Those were actually real wolves. We didn't really know that there was going to be wolves until a couple days before.
No.
Yeah, I really thought we were just going to do sort of a video that was in the kind of a black room and us just sort of jamming. And I thought that was kind of boring at first. I was like, we'll see how that goes. And because you never know how it's going to really turn out. I didn't think French Immersion would be a cool video of Liam just biking around the city, but it actually turned out really cool and it was fun, right? So with this, we really just walked into the studio and there was 4 wolves, and yeah, and it was really intimidating because you walk in and you see those and they're like so huge and intimidating, and it's like, these are not dogs. There's no way that these are dogs. And it was cool. We got to meet them and pet them, although I was very scared of them. One of them actually jumped up on one of the camera guys and like kind of cut his chin, and he had to go to the hospital. Yeah, and so we're like, oh my God, what the hell are we gonna do? But you know, the song, and we're like headbanging, and at various points they're letting these wolves run free without leashes, and they're throwing these little chunks of meat at them, and you see these wolves chasing around, and it was cool. But you know, I'd be headbanging and then I'd turn and look next to my amp, there's this wolf, and I'm like, holy shit, you know, this is crazy.
It turned out to be a rad video, dude.
Oh yeah. No, like, thanks so much. It's like, we're really stoked on it, you know. It was one of the most fun times I've ever had making a video, and but it being like kind of weird, like the zookeepers that were there, like, you know, kind of had them on leashes at various points. They're like, yeah, we shoot a lot of videos with tigers and lions and, you know, vicious animals like that, but those ones are really easy to train and tame. Wolves are just totally unpredictable and kind of violent. And we're like, oh, awesome. Yeah. So yeah, most of the video is just them being there with us. I mean, aside from a shot where you see a wolf kind of attack Liam, that's the one that's a little more edited. What they did was they brought in this other wolf that wolf really didn't like. For some reason, they brought in this Arctic wolves, and the ones in the video are timber wolves. They brought in this Arctic wolf, and the mother, which is the one you see attack Liam, for some reason hated this one Arctic wolf, and so they brought that one wolf near, and then she tried to attack that other wolf, and then they filmed it and then re-split it in with Liam, so it looked like, you know, when Liam's like, yeah, it's just like the wolf's coming at it, but it was actually, so that's the main edit, but otherwise it was us in the room with wolves for a whole day. It was kind of weird. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, man.